what you're saying. Is it love? Am I just scared of changing? Wait it out, just know I've been praying. But why is it so hard to leave? Why can't I let you go? Why is it so hard to be without you? With you I'm alone. I was so damn naive, loving you even though I still want more.
Welcome to another edition of Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I am so excited and so ecstatic to be joined by Carly Moreno. She is taking the world by storm and has a new song out that I can't wait to talk about, Naive. One word, so simplistic and yet so profound. She's been on The Voice, and she just is so warm and so bubbly and has a voice that's so pure that, as I told her when we got started, just a few notes and she had me at hello. Well,
Thank you so much for having me. You're making me blush over here.
sure.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate you having me on. I'm super stoked to
Yeah.
chat with you today.
Sure, absolutely. Always definitely our pleasure. So I wanted to kind of roll back time a little bit because you're probably wiser than your years, but very young. And I wanted to talk about sort of how you got interested in music and finding your voice, who some of your inspirations were.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been passionate about music for as long as I can remember. So stoked on it. But growing up, I grew up in a very musical family. So my mom being probably the most influential person. So growing up, my mom was actually in a rock band.
Yes.
And you know, she used to take me to their practices, and I would get to watch. And you know, she had mics set up in the garage at home, and so I was always like, Mom, can I go sing on your mic? And yeah, so just watching her was a huge influence for me. And actually, I was in, like, I want to say kindergarten or preschool or something, and my teacher asked us, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? Like, draw it on a picture. And I drew a stage with my mom up there and her band name Siren above it. And I was like, I want to be a singer when I grow up. And so just having, you know, her at such a young age to look up to, yeah, it was amazing. And, you know, my uncle is in a band, and my brothers do music, and my grandpa's musically inclined, and the list goes on. So
Yes, absolutely. And musically, who are some of the musicians that you listen to or that really also help you feel like this is just a magical thing to create?
I want to say in my early days, Britney Spears
Yes.
and Christina Aguilera and Avril Lavigne were like the three biggest. And then I was super inspired by Nora Jones as well.
Yes.
I love her tone, love her music. My grandma introduced me to her music at a young age as well. So yeah, but nowadays I admire so many people. Taylor Swift, I mean, her work ethic is insane. You know, she's so talented, and I love her. Chelsea Cutler. I mean, so many artists I look up to.
Sure. Tell us about a song that sort of represents maybe your early sound, something that you wrote or that you sang that really kind of touched your heart and kind of you may even feel is emblematic of your really delving into music seriously.
A few years back, I mean, I recorded some things a long time ago. Probably the first one I recorded was Feeling Good, and that was a more playful song. I would never recommend anyone go listen to it because I think I've grown as an artist. But that one's a more fun kind of OC, you know, summertime song. But I think when I came out with another EP later on, it was a few years back, I kind of pulled from my relationship with God and have like a 5-song EP. And I think one of the songs on there is called Anchor. And yeah, I think for me, you know, there's so much going on in this world. And it's a lot. And I feel like we need to be anchored. And for me, that anchor is Jesus. And so that song, I just feel like represents me pretty well in my faith. And yeah.
Oh, that's a great setup. Let's take a listen.
blood is flowing through my veins. I can't feel the drum of my heart, and I know I need change, but I don't know where to start. I feel so alone, got nowhere to go. I'm searching for hope, feel it screaming through my bones. So throw me a rope, 'cause I need an anchor, I need an anchor, so I don't float away, away from your love, away from your love. Pull me close, 'cause I need to feel your love. Pull me close, 'cause I need to feel your love. Ooh, pull me close, 'cause I need to feel your love. So throw me a rope, 'cause I need an anchor, so I don't float away from your love.
That's so great. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, because you slipped those two little letters in there and they didn't escape me because I'm down in the Newport Beach area so often, or Dana Point. Tell us about sort of growing up in OC and what it's like to live there, be from there, and so how it inspires and maybe even slips into your music a bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up close by the beach, sunny OC, California. So I got into, surfing at a pretty young age. I'm super passionate about skateboarding. So just being outside all the time, being at the beach with my friends and family. I loved growing up in Orange County. Definitely influences my style and, some of my music, writing about kind of where I live and just like the vibe. For me, it's all about the vibe. Uh, and yeah, so I think I'm definitely influenced by where I live.
Sure. And the other
Well,
thing that you hit on too, which I don't want to bypass, just today talk about being a young person and having faith, because it's something that can be such a challenge, and yet, like that word you used, anchor, can be such a foundational way to make it through a world that has lots of information, some of which is not always positive, coming at young people.
yeah. I feel like the only reason I have hope in this life, I mean, the world is a messed up place right now. I'll say that, right? There's just so much going on, and just so much animosity and people against each other. And I don't know, it's just like you said, it's overwhelming. And really, I just like, I love Jesus, that's what I believe in. And so for me, he's 100% my anchor. He's the only reason I have hope. Just, something to look forward to. He's where I get my worth from. It's easy to, I don't know, put yourself down in this life, right? Compare yourself to other people and all these things. So I always go back to him to tell me my worth.
Sure. No, that's so wonderful. And then talk to us about sort of finding your sound and the music process of maybe writing songs and things like that. How you sort of draw your hope and your ideas and things like that and pull it together, because it's a very complex process.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm inspired by a lot when I write and when I make music, but I think most of the time the process for me is I normally come up with like a melody first on like my guitar and stuff, fill out the melody, and then whatever that makes me kind of feel, I'll write on. Unless I already have some like idea, you know. But yeah, I just kind of play it by ear, like what I'm going through in my life, you know, the relationships I'm in, or my relationship with God, you know, or yeah, I just really take from what I'm experiencing in my life and go for it.
Absolutely. What might be another song that maybe of the middle years or something that kind of shows, as you were saying, that maybe the first song was the beginning. This is representative of sort of evolution or change or something that really, touched you in your career.
Dang, that's a good question. One's not popping up.
Hmm.
Um, can't.
Sure. Well, I can pick one for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. Tell me about My Soul. Tell me about sort of your thoughts and what you want to communicate in that, because I felt a lot of passion in there and a lot of inspiration and hope. It's a very moving song.
Thank you. So yeah, I actually collabed with someone named Hensley, for that song. I kind of told him my story about a relationship. Um, and he helped like kind of pull that out of me, and we wrote that song together. It definitely is a deep song, right? But yeah, it was just wow, I haven't heard that song in a long time. I was surprised you pulled that out of the archives and you found that one. Um, but yeah, it was just about, you know, being in a relationship but not connecting on that deeper level. And I think that's so important in a relationship to like really connect um, on that deeper level. You know, on the outside it's great and you know we have fun, but it's very surface.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think everyone wants that deeper connection with someone, that soul connection where you really relate and understand each other and each other's beliefs and all that. So yeah.
Sure. If there were some things that you felt you could just sort of change about the world to make people, since you hinted at it, love each other more and be more kind, what might those be? Because I think we can, learn so much wisdom from young people and not always thinking that these older people know all the answers, because we don't.
I'd say just give each other grace, you know, like you're not always going to agree with somebody, you know, everyone has their different opinions. Um, you know, but I don't think that change the way that you love somebody or look at somebody just because they might have a different belief than you or political view or like whatever it is, you know. I feel like there's just so much division. And if you don't believe what I believe, then you know I don't love you or I don't like that's not how it should be.
Yeah.
Um, I just feel like we need to like give each other grace and hear each other out and love each other past all of that stuff.
Sure, absolutely. Truly words of wisdom. And I think it's so true in the simplistic of just loving, forgiving, and providing grace. We can make it forward through all of us have hardships and hurdles and complex
Absolutely.
needs.
Yeah.
Um, so there you are in OC, and you're a skater, and I've watched you on the boards and things like that as well. And I love your energy and vitality and girl power that you bring to it, and some of the stunts that I saw you do. Um, and
Thanks.
you're writing music and you're performing, and an opportunity comes along to be on The Voice. Tell us about sort of what that meant, and then walk us through some of that experience.
Yeah. Well, The Voice was the most surreal thing ever. Like, just the experience was absolutely amazing. It's funny because I grew up watching the show,
Right.
and I used to watch it and like with my family, and I'd look at my mom and be like, I would never do that. Like, I'm just not ever gonna try. Like, it just terrifies me, right? So I think when something scares you, you got to do it. You know what I mean? You got to do it. You just got to say yes. And so, the idea got brought up to audition. And so I did. And obviously I made it on the show. Eventually it's a pretty long process to get there. But yeah, I met the most amazing people. I feel like I grew a lot as an artist, just, having to step over my fear and my doubts and all that, and just kind of believe in myself. Like, I feel like I'm more capable than I believed I was. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, right? Like, we don't know unless we try.
Right.
But yeah, I realized that I charged it, and it was the most amazing experience of my life.
Sure. Let's tease that out a little bit. Tell us about that some of the details of the process and how complex it is, because I think many times people may think, oh, it's just maybe a couple of hundred people, and you go on your audition, and that's taped, and then the next thing you're either on or not on the show. But tell us about that, and then ultimately some of the interactions with people like Blake Shelton, who everybody adores him, and Adam.
Yeah. So it's actually a pretty long process before you get on the actual show, There's like thousands of auditions. So that was the second time I had auditioned for The Voice. The first time I went through the whole they call it the cattle call, where like thousands of people will go and wait in lines and audition, right? And so the first time around, I made it through like a couple of those rounds, which is great. And then I got a call. They're like, yeah, we're not going to have you like move forward. And I was bummed, right? The second time comes around, and actually a producer reached out to me personally and said, hey, we'd like you to do a private audition. So I did a private audition, and just kept making it from there. And, months would go by in between, and you don't know what's happening. It's and then, you go to LA and you meet all these people, and there's just so much, like, so many contestants. We're all living together, just doing things we've never done before. It was awesome. And then, eventually they're like, all right, you made it on like the show.
Right.
So let's proceed. Let's start filming, starting vocal lessons. We're having all these wardrobe meetings out of nowhere, and like just so fun doing all these interviews. It's like it was definitely a lot, but amazing. So,
Sure.
and then yeah, go ahead.
And then are there some pearls that sort of interfacing with Blake Shelton and Adam Levine that you really were able to sort of memorialize, despite, like I said, so many things coming at you and so much going on?
Yeah. So obviously Adam was the one who turned for me. I almost dropped on mic. I was like, there's no way this is happening right now. Like he started to ask, like, what's your name? I hit the mic on my tooth. Like, literally, I was like, oh, that was so embarrassing. Hey, I'm Carly. Like, but yeah, Adam turned for me. So I was very grateful for that. I was like, wow, this is all happening. So getting to work with Adam at first, was amazing. He's a super sweet, encouraging guy. And he loved my voice, and he just kind of spoke into me, and definitely gave me more confidence, made me believe in myself a little more. So that was a great experience. And then, going forward with my battle, I had a battle partner, Celia. Didn't win the battle, but then Blake stole me. So I was walking off stage, and Blake like hit his button, and he's like, you're on my team now. And I was freaking out. But yeah, so I got to work with Blake as well. I think I felt like more of a connection with Adam. But yeah, it was amazing. They're both super amazing, highly respected musicians and artists. So getting to work with them was an absolute blessing.
Sure. And do you feel that the opportunity sort of allowed you even some other greater opportunities or connections or ability to network, even if it's only a few people? Because I know many times, even with a large organization, it can just be maybe one or two key contacts that somebody can come away with that at least help them feel like gosh, maybe were it not for that opportunity, I might not have gotten a chance to meet or work with someone.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of opportunities have come from it, different companies reaching out, wanting to work together, or have me come sing at events or stuff like that. But from the show, I think mostly it's cool because they know my name now, right?
Right.
So who knows? Maybe in the future, I get to work with someone or do something cool like that. But I did meet a lot of friends from the show that I feel like will be lifelong friends, other fellow musicians and artists that I still keep in contact with. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do a show together someday, or we just all stay in contact. It's great.
Pick us one of the songs that you like and that you love or that touches your heart that you'd like to share.
One of my songs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did just drop a new song,
Yes.
Naive.
Mm-hmm.
It's my first single since I signed with Diamond Empire, the label that I'm on. And yeah, I'm super stoked on the song, and we worked on it for a little bit and put it out there. So that's the newest.
Sure, absolutely. Tell us what it's about, and then we'll take a listen.
Yeah, so Naive is actually, they presented me this song, the label did. They heard it and they said, "We think this would be a great fit for you." So I listened. Normally I write all my songs, I'm heavily involved in the process of creating and, turning it into something. And they sent me this song and I listened to it and I loved it. Like, I automatically was like, I love this song. I want this song. They're like, all right, it's yours. So the song is called Naive. Basically, I've been fortunate enough to not have to go through a toxic relationship. It never ended in a negative way or anything like that. But I have so many friends that have gone through these really toxic relationships where it's kind of, you can't live with them, can't live without them, but it's just unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Naive comes in, right? Just you feel like you have to stay in this relationship because it's what you're comfortable, but it's not, it's toxic, it's just this, like, I don't know. So that's where it comes in, and I'm like, wow, I just have so many friends who've gone through that. And so I was like, yeah, I just feel like it's relatable, and yeah, I loved the song, so I just went with it.
Absolutely. Let's take a listen.
Call me up, don't know what you're saying. Is it love? Am I just scared of changing? Wait it out, just know I've been praying. No more trust, is it worth saving? With all the games I know you've been playing, is leaving you worse than me staying? But I can't get enough. I know you're falling in love with something other than us. You've been leaving me cuts everywhere that you touch me. I don't wanna give up, but why is it so hard to leave? Why can't
Our show is called Music and Medicine. What does that mean to you when you hear those words?
I believe that music is literally medicine. It's just so powerful. It's it's something. I listen to music all day long. When I'm happy, when I'm sad, when I'm excited, when whatever I'm feeling, I always go to music to kind of heighten what I'm feeling. It just and for me, worship is something that I love to listen to, and that's very healing for me. If I'm feeling down or whatever I'm feeling, I turn on worship music and I just like it's healing. Um, if I'm feeling sad, I like to kind of I almost give in to that emotion and I put on sad music and it makes me like really feel something, or sometimes I'll do the opposite but on happy music. And I don't know, I just feel like it's the universal language.
Yes.
And I feel like I personally could not live without music. So it's medicine to me 100%.
Absolutely, yes. Well, a lot of those activities are mirrored over here too. I had to make sure the music was turned off so that when we're recording, it's always around me. It always surrounds me, and like you said, I will manipulate it, knowing okay, I'm in traffic. Let me put on something that's a little bit more calming because if I get too
Right?
with my heavy metal, that might make me a little bit more rage. Conversely, when I'm working out, music to kind of help pick up my spirit and literally the pace as well. And then certainly, like you said, worship music and praise. I really listen to pretty much almost every single day because I think we're so blessed in this life, so many of us, and it can be easy to overlook because we see things in the outside world that tell us, oh, that's no big deal. Waking up and breathing and being able to walk and having your health and having your family.
Amazing. Yes, yes.
Yes, I truly agree. Um, you've been on an amazing type of a journey. Are there some pearls that you might share for others that sort of getting onto this road or sustaining? Because it is a very intense industry, so it's very
Oh
good,
my
very grounded.
Yeah, definitely an intense industry. Lot of, if you let it, there's there's a lot of comparison, there's so many artists out there. Um, and you don't want to ever compare yourself because you're you, right? So you just got to believe in yourself. Timing is everything. I've been at this for a little while now. So, just grinding and playing a bunch of gigs everywhere. And sometimes I can, kind of feel down like, wow, it's been a journey. Like, am I gonna be able to move forward and progress and all that? But, it's what I love. So if this is what you love to do, then just keep at it, you just got to trust in God's timing and believe in yourself. And yeah, just keep going, I'd say.
Absolutely. You're so positive and you just radiate it. And the foundation, not only in your family, but in love, music, and the Lord, just really come across. And I feel like you could continue to blossom. Leave us with a song or something that you just like to have us be encouraged by.
Hmm. Thank you, by the way, for the kind words. A
Yeah.
song to be encouraged by. Well, I am working on some new music right now that I'm going to be putting out soon. So
Mhm.
I'd say since, all the other stuff is kind of older,
Mhm.
I'd say just stay tuned
Okay.
for my new music coming out. I'm super excited to drop it. I have a few more songs I've been working on in the studio. So, yeah, maybe just stay tuned.
Sure. Sounds good. And on that note, give us a shameless plug for your socials and where we can find you and listen to more of your music.
Yeah, so honestly, I think the easiest way to do it is just go to carlymoreno.com. That's KARLYMORENO. I'm sure it'll be up there somewhere.
Yes.
But all the links to my social media are up on my website. So I just feel like that's the easiest way to do it.
Sure. Well, thanks so much to David Moreno and Billy Moss for helping us connect. I've been so appreciative and inspired. I mean, literally ready to start my day with your positivity and your comfort that you have with your faith and the Lord. And it's more than inspirational. Like I said, it is encouraging and so important, I think, for us to hear. We can't hear too much goodness. And I loved when you said music is universal language. I think it so epitomizes those of us who live by it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're amazing. Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and I was super stoked to join you this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks again.